Today I'm going to break down why Dubai is a safe and smart investment. This is going to be based on statistics and facts. We're going to be going into the tax advantages, what is the expected return on interest on an investment, the current stability, the population growth versus the population supply, and then we're going to look at the real estate market performance over the past couple of years. So when we're looking at the tax advantages, everybody says, okay, Dubai is tax-free, but I don't think they really understand the value of that. If we break down a few major cities, we've got New York City, which the capital gains are up to 36%. The rental income tax is up to 48%. All right. The London, UK, you're looking at 18 to 28% on capital gains, and the rental income is 20 to 45%. In Sydney, Australia, you're looking at capital and rental income tax up to 45%. Let's say you make $1 million. In Sydney, the government will say, thank you, I am taking $450,000. Here in Dubai, it's zero, nothing. You walk away with a net income. There are certain costs involved, but in terms of the government taking anything, there's none of that. In terms of return on interest potential, right now today, you can purchase an apartment somewhere in JVC and you can obtain a 10% net return. If we want to dive into the economic stability, a lot of countries sometimes dependent on one singular sector, and whereas Dubai is driven on four major pillars. You're looking at the real estate sector, tourism, trade, the financial sectors. Unlike a lot of the Middle Eastern countries that are quite dependent on oil, and you'll be quite surprised as to how much Dubai is dependent on oil in terms of its economy. So let's dive into it. The real estate sector, the contribution to the GDP in 2023 was 13.7%. To give you a quick overview, in 2021, there was 150 billion worth of transactions that took place. Last year, there were 411 billion dirhams worth of transactions that took place. This is a 173% increase. There's a lot of activity taking place, a lot of transactions. If you buy a property and for some reason you want to liquidate, there's a lot of capital moving around. Tourism, in 2022, we had 14.36 million visitors. Right now, Dubai is the most visited city in the world, and it has one of the most busiest airports in the world. This is quite interesting because if you've got a busy airport, people are in here, they're seeing the business, they're seeing the infrastructure, they're interacting with individuals. You meet someone, you bump into them, they know somebody in another country, maybe in the Netherlands, you can link up with business quite quickly. In terms of hospitality growth, the Dubai 2024 Urban Master Plan has a plan to increase the hospitality and tourism sector by 134%. If you don't know about the Dubai 2040 Urban Plan, I'd encourage you to research it. It's absolutely fantastic. And by 2040, we're looking at having 25 million visitors to come into the city. In terms of trade, Dubai is, in terms of location, because of the trade, you've got the east and the west, which are in close proximity towards each other. So if anything happens on the west, or the US, etc., we've always got the east in terms of China, the Middle Eastern countries. So in terms of location, Dubai is fantastically located, and obviously it's very friendly to trade with. The Jebel Ali port is the most busiest port in the Middle East, and it's the 9th busiest in the world. Dubai's financial sector has 2,900 companies and it has over 25,000 employees. The sector contributes to 7.1% towards Dubai's GDP. Now, when we were talking about diversification, Dubai is only reliant on less than 1% of oil to contribute to the GDP. The political stability, if you look at Dubai, the leadership are all together. They're going into a certain direction. Whereas if you look at other parts of the world, and we use the USA as an example, you got the Democrats and the Liberals are always fighting at each other. In South Africa, you've got the ANC and the DA that are always fighting at each other. Whereas here in Dubai, there is no political unrest. The leadership, they're going in one direction. They have a plan. There's no violence. There's no terrorism over here. It's a fantastic environment to be in. Global connectivity and infrastructure. Dubai's international airport is the most busiest airport in the world. It connects to over 150 countries. In terms of infrastructure, there's constant improvement. To give you an example, I've just come back from a 6-week holiday, and there's new roads that are in place. There's new overpasses that are coming into play. The new infrastructure is really important due to the fact that it's designed in an environment that can hold international events. In terms of the world-class infrastructure, everything works over here. You don't have to stand in long lines when you go to any government sector. I went to go get my license replaced, and it took me 5 minutes. Where I'm from, you try and do that, it's going to take you're looking at 6 hours. To give you an idea on the business potential, at the beginning of last year in 2023, there were 30,000 new businesses that were open. What does this mean? You got 30,000 businesses. Each of these businesses has, say, a CEO. Some of them could be solopreneurs. Some could have employees of up to 2, 3, 50, 100, 1,000. All these people need homes to stay in. So with new businesses coming in, even if you have to divide that by half and say maybe half of them were opening up over here, which actually had proper infrastructure, all these people need new homes. Dubai, it's known for its luxury. It's known for having accessibility to just about anything. The beach clubs are incredible. The restaurants are fantastic. If you go to the malls on any Saturday night, it's absolutely humming. So in terms of having accessibility to things, it's fantastic. You got unbelievable spas. You got a fantastic amount of tourist spaces. It's really a beautiful place to be. So now if we dive into the data, and I think this is the most valuable thing that we need to look at, because any property market is defined by the demand, and that would obviously be impacted by supply. If you've got a property market where the supply is outweighed by the demand, there's more supply, there's less demand, property prices are going to go down. But if you've got a lot of demand and not a lot of supply, people are wanting to buy properties, but there's not a lot going around. People are willing to pay more. If we take a look at it, in 2020, it was a seller's market. What this means is that value of the property prices were rising. And in 2020, you had 53,000 people that moved to the city. Of that, only 32,000 properties were leased into the market. In 2021, we had 67,000 people that moved to the city. And of that, only 30,000 residential units were delivered. In 2022, we had even more. We had 71,600 people that moved to the city. And we only had 35,000 units released. Of last year, there were 105,000 people that moved to the city. And less than half of that, 36,000 residential units were delivered. So the population is constantly increasing. Every year, more and more and more and more people are moving to the city. You pretty much got the same amounts of supply coming into the market. The supply is controlled. We have a special committee that was appointed in 2019 to define, this amount of people are moving here. These are the amounts of businesses that are moving over here. And then this is the amount of supply that's coming into the market. It's really important to understand. So bottom line is, if you're comparing other cities, number one, you've got a tax-free environment. Number two, you've got a political stable environment. You've got an incredible place where people want to live, to have access to a fantastic lifestyle. And you understand that the population versus the supply is controlled. So the property market's going to consistently go up. Obviously, markets, they rise, they fall, but you're looking at right now, there's about 3.6 million, maybe 3.7 million people living in Dubai. They're planning on having 5.3 million people move and live here in Dubai by 2030. So if you're curious and you want to take a look around and you want to, you're looking at investing your money here, please feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to set up a call with you and we can take it from there.